I feel like every time I've said in a video, long time no speak, it really hasn't been that long of a time. It's been like a couple weeks to like a month or two. But I can sincerely say long time no speak this time because it has been months since you and I have talked face to face, at least on this channel. And there's a variety of different reasons for that. And I felt like before I made any more content for this channel that I should do a life update and explain all what's happened in the past year because it is a roller coaster of things. So yeah, this is my life update video where I've been before I, start making content again. If you follow me on Instagram or other places, you probably already get the gist of what's going to be in this video, so it might be boring. But for those of you who don't follow me anywhere else, here this is. Between the time of us last talking face to face and now, so much in my life has changed, and it's honestly a bit vexing and surreal. Like, I'm still over here like, I should start with like the bad news and then get into like the good stuff so we can end off on a good note, right? So I started making videos and being very, very active while I had just graduated university, and I was job hunting at the time. And while I was job hunting and waiting in between times, I was making videos for TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, and I was pretty active on all three platforms because I had all this excess time on my hands when I wasn't working on trying to find a job post-graduation. So I was really in like a weird place of being really depressed because I felt like my degree was useless because I wasn't finding a job fast enough, and having all this time on my hands and wanting to distract myself so I wouldn't feel this way all the time. So I started making videos because of that. I started making gal content pretty heavily because it's something I'm really into and passionate about, and a lot of people encouraged me to. So I started making gal history content and expressing my opinions on a lot of things, and some people agreed with them and some people didn't. But the thing is it got to the point at one bit of time, probably around June to July, that it just got so out of hand because it was like there was a pattern. And it wasn't just a pattern for me, it was a pattern for a lot of my friends. If we did too well on something, we were immediately attacked. That or if we had an opinion that somebody disagreed with, and it was on our own profile, like we're not policing anybody anywhere else, like we're not in anybody else's comment sections or anything, we're just saying how we feel on our own platform, doing our own thing. We just get attacked. And I mean, compared to like some of the people who were attacking me, like I wasn't doing like well compared to like them. So it was really weird that I was getting attacked every time a video of mine at one point in time on TikTok or wherever got attention. The consequence of that would always be me being viciously attacked. And it was happening to a lot of my friends who were similarly making content, and it got to the point where just like boundaries were crossed. There were tumblers made, there were people trying to involve families, there was all this shit going on, and I was so depressed and so overwhelmed, and I was so afraid to open my DMs even at one point in time, like, because it was like, okay, is this a friend or is this somebody going to be fucking vicious to me? Like, I don't know which one it's gonna be. So I was already going through that, and then to make matters worse, while all this shit was going on during the summer, where I was job hunting and dealing with the fact that I couldn't be online without someone telling me to unalive myself or tell me that my parents should have never had me, or just like I got some of the craziest comments. Like, it got to the point where I was afraid to check my DMs because I never knew what the fuck I was getting, and it just gave me anxiety. But fuck. So here's all that going on, and then my mom gets hospitalized, and I find a job at the same time. Like, literally the day I got my job offer, my mom was hauled off to the hospital. There was like really conflicting emotions of just like, oh my god, like my search has paid off, and it was like a really convenient job and stuff too. and being really, really worried about my mom because she's never ever been hospitalized that terribly before. And so for a while I just got the fuck off the internet, like, and it was hard because I wanted to make things. I wanted community. I wanted to reach out to people because, like, I was going through something. I was dealing with it by myself, and just, yeah, I think even this is the first time I've ever talked about it. So between the time of, like, September to, like, November, I was just grinding at work and visiting my mom in the hospital, and it went from her being entirely unconscious on a ventilator to her finally being conscious and responding and stuff. And I'm really grateful for that time that I had with her. And it went from her being unconscious to conscious. And when she was conscious and when I thought she was going home, I was a little bit more active, and I did things. I made things or created things more so than I did probably at the latter half of, like, August and September. Because, like I said, I thought things were about to go back to normal again and be maybe even better or different, because here I was working and had all this, you know, big girl money and stuff. Like, I could finally show people that, like, my hard work had paid off. But unfortunately, as relieving as it sounds, my mother passed away in November, and I've really been having a hard time navigating fucking through that. Losing a parent, especially as young as she was, is not an easy feat. Like, still in my head half the time I'm just like, what the fuck just happened? Like, what? Me trying to navigate through this, like, post mourning has been very interesting, and it's definitely led me down to a spiral of, like, why do I exist? I am just a floating human being. I have no connection to anything. Why do I exist? Like, just a lot of that going on. I probably need to go to therapy, honestly. But there's been a lot of that going on, so I really haven't been in the mood to make things. And when I have made things, it's been in bed on Instagram Reels, because it is so much easier to mobile edit than sit at a desk on a Mac editing a video for you guys here. I'll be honest. And it was, I'd come home from work just fucking exhausted, so it was so much easier to edit on Reels and do content on Reels than it was here. And it got to the point where I was kind of lost as to what to upload here anymore, because the gal history videos, yes, could potentially be YouTube videos, but I just felt like they translated better as Reels than they did YouTube videos. And I know I used to do makeup tutorials back in the day, but I don't know if people are really into that anymore, and I'd have to figure out a space to film. I guess this could get me onto, like, my big news somewhat. So the death of my mom really put in perspective to me that, like, obviously I ain't getting any younger, and you only live one life, right? So, like, one of my big goals that I want to do is leave this area. One, because my mom lived here and there's ghosts everywhere, like, in this house. I gotta get out of this house. But I also want to just get out of this city where I'm at. Like, I need to socialize and go out and do things more. I'm so tired of being a hermit because I know nobody here where I'm at. I didn't go to high school out here like my brothers did and things like that. So I really want to leave here and go back to places where I know people, or places where I could potentially get to know people, if that makes any sense. That's a big overall goal. That, and I just want to live on my own. Like, at my age, I should already be doing that, but, like, it's taken me a minute. But other than that, like, a baby goal, if you can call it a baby goal, that I'm on my way to accomplishing is traveling. I've wanted to go to Tokyo since I was, like, 10, and I've never gotten to do it because I didn't want to go broke. Like, I didn't want to go with, like, only $1,000 or $2,000. Didn't want to do that. I wanted to go with plenty of money and just be like, you want that, you can get that. You want to go do that? What budget, right? Like, I really wanted to be able to do that for myself. So I waited. That, and I focused on my studies and things like that. Like, I just had a hard time juggling everything. So it's taken me this long to do it, but I'm finally doing it. And honestly, it's probably better I'm doing it at this age. So I'm not as, like, young and stupid and just, yeah. So yeah, I'm going to Tokyo in August, and I'm so excited. I've never done anything like this before, and I'm hoping that I can take you guys along with me, if that is okay, if things don't become unhinged. I'd love to vlog my trip. I mean, because I want to make memories and things like that. I just, yeah. There's a couple different things I want to do. Touristy things, not so touristy things, like I want to get my hair done. I want to talk about extensions. I want to talk about how to pack. As somebody who does J fashion, because I haven't seen any videos done on, like, how do you pack when, like, your life is just a fucking fashion show all the time? Like, sorry, I can't compromise that. Like, yeah. So I'm gonna try to do, like, videos on that maybe before I go. I am also going to Summer Sonic, and I don't know how much content I can film of Summer Sonic, but I'm so excited for that. Like, Tamina's coming back. I know my friend really likes Be First, and they're performing again. 12-year-old Darla would be screaming over Evanescence and Fall Out Boy being a thing at this. Wow. So just, there's a lot going on for this trip. Lots of cafes I want to visit. Some Gyaru pilgrimages, though they're not necessarily Gyaru, given the fact that Gal isn't very big in Japan anymore. Trust me, I'm self-aware. I'm not delusional. But there are some, like, small things I want to try to find, like a thrifted Burberry scarf, and there's, like, a Purikura store that's themed Gyaru and things like that. Like, so there's things like that. I want to see what all I can still find as somebody who's still Gyaru and self-aware and not delusional. So that is my good news, is hopefully now that I've made this video and gotten this out of the way, I can start doing magazine flip-throughs again. I can start making travel content and vlog content again. Hopefully, if work doesn't tire me out. My job is tiresome, and most days I just want to lay in bed and sleep, but we shall see. We shall see. So if you've made it through this video thus far, thank you so much for sticking with me and being so patient. I noticed my subscriber count jumped even though I wasn't uploading anything, and for that I'm so grateful. Like, I expected a lot of people to give up on me and just not watch any of my videos anymore, but you guys still are, and that's just what the fuck amazing. So hopefully now this means less crazy times, less negative energy, less negativity, and just things going up from here. And I hope you guys will join me for the ride. Thank you for staying with me this far. Thank you so much for being understanding. Hopefully I'll have some new content out soon. Thank you guys so much. Until next time. Bye bye.